Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a long, relaxing, chatty, very thorough makeup declutter. So I've really been getting into makeup lately and trying new products, and as I'm sure many of you guys have experienced yourself, before you know it, you have like 4 different foundations or maybe even more, and way too many bronzers and things like that. And I just really needed to go through, and I've been waiting to do this with you guys. So I hope that you're in the mood for a nice, long, relaxing declutter. Maybe you can do some decluttering with me, or maybe it'll give you some inspiration to go through and declutter your own makeup. If you're new to my channel, I would love if you would consider subscribing. On this channel, we focus on minimalism, living a simple, chic, elegant life. We do lots of declutters and things like that. And I also share with you my favorite skincare, my favorite makeup products, a little bit of wardrobe, a little bit of home life. And you can also feel free to head over and follow me on Instagram for similar content. And with that out of the way, let's get started in today's makeup declutter. All right, guys, good morning. So I am just having my morning coffee still here, and I really needed to go through and do a makeup declutter. I know I just recently did this, but I have really started getting into makeup a little bit more, trying out new makeup products and also skincare, which has been really nice, a really nice shift for me from focusing on nothing but perfume for so long. I feel like now that I'm no longer obsessed with my little perfume addiction that I had going on, I feel like now I can focus on other things. It's been really nice. And with that, obviously, I've tried a few new things. I've gotten a couple of new foundations, which foundation is so iffy because it can look great in one lighting and then not good in other lighting. You guys know how the foundation thing goes. And I would rather have one foundation that suits me really, really well and works for me and is kind of a holy grail than have 5 or 6 on the go, because I don't even wear foundation every single day. The good news is I do have other women in my family who are similar skin tone. So if there's anything I don't want from my makeup, it's really easy for me to find it a new home. So sometimes I feel like it's wasteful doing makeup declutters, but you know, it never ends up being wasteful because it always does end up going to a good home. Either my daughter will take it off my hands, my mom. So with that out of the way, you guys, let's just get started. This might be a little hard for me. I don't know, it's just hard for me sometimes to part ways with makeup, especially when they're really nice items. But yeah, we're just going to go through and I'm just going to start putting items one by one in the declutter bin that I don't think I'm going to be using. And I also have to go through my brushes because I have really been going a little brush crazy. I went a little brush happy, and I just I don't need all these brushes, definitely not. And there's a couple that I got that I thought would be good, like concealer brushes, or thought would be good for like bronzer. Didn't end up working out for bronzer. I like another one better, and things like that. So that, yeah, there's just definitely a couple that I can part ways with in the brush department. I just don't think I need this many brushes. So yeah. All right, without further ado, you know what? Let's start this time with the brushes. Okay, guys, so these are all of my complexion brushes. These are brushes I use for bronzer, blush, finishing powder, highlighter, and foundation. And I actually prefer a beauty blender for my foundation, which isn't in this video, obviously. So that is just in my, where the heck is that thing anyway? Oh, it's in my makeup kit, obviously. It's in the makeup kit. Yeah, so let's go through. I just thought let's start with complexion first, then we'll move on to eyeshadow. And this just makes it really easy for me to see like what I'm using versus what I'm not. So, okay, I think process of elimination, the best thing to do is to pick out the things I use the most often, because that tells me what I really like and what I really use. So definitely the brush that I use the most often out of here, or the one that I like the most, is this one here. This one is from Quo, and this is a large powder brush, and I love this for putting on finishing powder. It's my favorite finishing powder brush. I don't know what it is about it. There's just something about the dense bristles. It's like dense but also fluffy, and there's something about this that just makes my finishing powder, my favorite finishing powder, look so, so good. Blends away any imperfections, blends away if I have like harsh bronzer lines or anything like that. Such a good brush. Love this. So this one we are keeping. So the ones that I'm keeping, I'm just going to put in this container. All right, the next brush that I use the most is actually probably this one. And this I use for bronzer. This is my favorite bronzer brush. I don't know why, it just seems to work really well. I've been using it for months and months and months, and I'm obsessed with it. And I think just because it's angled, it's like that perfect shaped brush for getting around the hairline, getting into like the cheekbones and stuff like that. Love this brush. So this has been my favorite bronzer brush. That being said, bronzer and contour, to be honest, because I don't always wear bronzer and contour. Sometimes I just use my bronzer as contour, but I don't often go in with a full face of like bronzer and contour at the same time. So that being said, this brush here, I purchased this one thinking this was going to be a really good bronzer brush slash contour. I don't actually like it all that much. It has really, really stiff bristles, and the shape is good and stuff, and it's really dense. Like I shouldn't say stiff, they're soft, but it's a dense bristled brush, and I just don't like it as much as I thought I was going to. So this one I can definitely pass along. It's brand new. I've only used it once. I really did not like it. So yeah, this one can go. Okay, what else here? So I have two stippling brushes. This one here, which obviously I have used quite a lot, needs to be cleaned, and also this one here. And both of them are good for foundation. In fact, they might be the same brush. Oh my gosh, I think they're the same brush. They're the same brush. Okay, but these are good brushes. They're both good for foundation. I may as well keep both of them because I will use them. I can't believe I bought two of the exact same brush. It's just that one is new and the other one is new and the other one's not new. But yeah, I can keep those because same brush, good for foundation. Okay, and then we also have this powder brush here. Now, this is a good powder brush to use with my Charlotte Tilbury finishing powder because the bristles on this are a lot more fluffy. This one gives a much lighter finish compared to my other powder brush, but I really like it. But I like this one definitely more for the Charlotte Tilbury versus the Hourglass. The Hourglass, I like the denser brushes, the denser bristles. The Charlotte Tilbury, I prefer more of a fluffy, but this is a really good powder brush. So I'm going to hold on to this one. Okay, now when it comes to blush and highlighter brushes, this is where it gets a little bit more difficult for me because I don't wear blush every single day and I don't wear highlighter every single day. So I'm not really sure, which of these are kind of my favorites, but I guess I can go through and figure out which ones I've reached for the most. Let's see here. So this one is pretty good. I do really like this brush for blush. It is an RT Real Techniques 400, and I really like this. It's got really nice soft fluffy bristles and does a really nice job of kind of diffusing a light soft layer of blush as opposed to packing on a whole bunch at once. So I do like this one, so we're going to hold on to that. This one here I don't mind actually for highlight, and I have used it for blush as well, and I don't even know where this came from. I think this is this Rare Beauty? I feel like, I don't know. I have no idea what this is. It's not Rare Beauty. Where did they get this? Oh, this is a Sephora brush, just a basic Sephora brush. And I've used this and I like it, so I may as well hold on to it because for some reason I tend to reach for this one. So why get rid of it, obviously. And we have these ones here. This one here I think I got for either highlight or blush. I don't use it that often. This one here, same thing. I don't even know. I think I got this because of Emily Noel. I think I saw her using this to blend out, I want to say she was using this to blend out concealer or something. I never ever used this. I think I used it once and didn't like it, and I really don't know what I would use it for. So I think we're just going to pass this one along. I don't even know what I would reach for that for. Okay, we have 3 brushes left in the complexion category. One of them is like a little fan brush. I got this one specifically to apply highlighter, and it's not bad. It's a fine brush, it's fine. So, and I have used it. It does a really nice job of just putting on a nice kind of dusting of highlight just over the high points of the cheeks. I specifically bought it for highlighter, so we're going to hold on to that. And then these two here, I honestly don't even know why I purchased this. Can somebody tell me what this brush is for? This is a MAC 159S, is that what it's called? You guys, I don't know my brushes. I am not a makeup expert, and I do not know why I have this or what to use it for. But I think I probably saw someone use it in a video and purchased it, but I don't really need it for anything. So I think I'm just going to pass this one on. I literally do not know why, what this is for, and I don't know why I got it. Gotta love when that happens. You get influenced by influencers and then you don't know what the brush is for. So this is a Real Techniques 401 brush. I got this one for cream blush, and I do have cream blushes, and I find that the denser bristles are really nice for diffusing a cream blush. So I'm actually gonna hold on to this one because I kind of like the fluffy brush for powder blush, and I like the denser bristles for cream blushes. Okay, so I actually have two more complexion brushes. Use these for contouring my nose, and these are fantastic. These are concealer brushes. This one is the Rare Beauty concealer brush, and it is probably my favorite contour brush for contouring the nose. It's like perfect. It's got these dense bristles, and it's amazing. If you guys are looking for good brushes to contour the nose, get the concealer brushes because they're the perfect shape, you know. I like them both because, as you can see, they have two different shapes, two different sizes on the end, but they're both slanted and angled, and they're just amazing. So that one is Rare Beauty. This one is, I don't even know what this is. This is probably from Quo, honestly. Probably got this from Shoppers Drug Mart. But yeah, those are the two brushes that I use to contour my nose, and I use them both. Like, I kind of just grab for one or the other. And so they're both great. Yeah, so I'm going to keep both of those. Contouring my nose is actually, like, I don't always wear eyeshadow. I don't always wear highlight, but I pretty much always contour my nose. So yeah, I'm like proud of myself for actually using makeup these days because I never used to. Okay, so when it comes to eyeshadow brushes, I kind of don't really know if I want to get rid of any of them because I feel like when it comes to eyeshadow, as you guys probably know, different brushes are good for different things, and sometimes there's a brush you like more than another brush. So I've got a couple of fluffy blending brushes, a smaller one and a larger. I like both of those. I use both of those. Those are definitely staying. Then I also have this one that came from the Naked 3 palette. This one was just in with the Naked 3, and it has a smaller brush for packing on color, and then it has a fluffy brush at the end. It's actually really nice quality, and it feels really good and very soft. So I think I'm going to hold on to that. I haven't even had a chance to try that yet, but I think I'm going to hold on to it. And then when it comes to these ones here, so this is an angled brush. This would be good for doing either like eyeshadow, or not eyeshadow, for doing like an eyeliner or the eyebrows. I'm going to hold on to this because it's my only skinny angled, little skinny angled brush that I have. We're going to hold on to that one. Then I've got these four here. And they're all good for different reasons. Probably my most reached for would be actually this one from, I think this is just like a Walmart, like literally Bio Tools or Bio whatever. I don't know. That one I tend to reach for it the most. And then after that, yeah, I don't know. Like, this is pretty much the same type of brush. This is for just packing on color, like on the lid. And they're slightly different sizes, but both are good. I don't really know if I should get rid of either of those because they're both really good brushes. Yeah, and I honestly don't do my eyeshadow enough to really know like which one I prefer. So I think I'm gonna hold on to both of them for now. Maybe at one point I'll get rid of one or the other, but there's no sense in being hasty. And then we have these two here, and they're again very, very similar. One is the Sephora 13, and the other one is the, I guess probably Sephora, I don't know what this is, Pro Shadow 15. Yeah, do I really need both of those? They're kind of similar. Again, they're kind of similar, kind of do the same thing, but one of them is like dome shaped and one of them is more, honestly, I probably use this one more, the like tapered one versus the totally squared off one. But you know, I think I'm going to keep both of these for now too, because again, I haven't done my eyeshadow enough with these brushes to know which I prefer. And I don't want to be hasty and realize I need another brush or something. So I'm going to hold on to both of these eyeshadow brushes as well. Okay, now we have a couple of little tools that I also keep with my brushes. We have a little spoolie, which I think everybody needs a spoolie. And then I have a tweezers, my one and only tweezers. So I'm obviously going to hold on to my tweezers. Then I have two of these little, like, what do you call it? Eyelash application tweezers. These are for getting the eyelashes really close and around your eyes. I actually prefer the smaller one more than the bigger one. The bigger one I find cumbersome, and I just don't like it. So yeah, this one I actually prefer for putting eyelashes on and really giving them a pinch near the eyelash base to make sure that they stay. I don't wear false eyelashes like hardly ever, but if I do, I actually really like this one. This one just came with the Ardell lashes that I got. So this one I got from Amazon and I actually don't like it, so we're gonna pass that on. So those are my brushes decluttered. It does look a little bit better, a little bit less busy, and I was able to get rid of 3 brushes and 1 pair of tweezers, which I think is pretty good. Probably could have been a little more ruthless, but at least now everything that's in here I know that I can use or have used or will use. And then I'll just maybe have to go through and curate the eyeshadow brushes at some point, but I'm pretty happy with my brushes. I feel like I have something for everything, and I don't feel like it's as cluttered anymore. It's not too much. All right, so moving on to eyeshadow. I only have 3 eyeshadow palettes. I have the Chanel eyeshadow palette, and this is the Le Beige Healthy Glow Natural Eyeshadow Palette in the shade Medium. I have the Urban Decay Naked 3, and I have the Tartelette in Bloom. So I'll open them up and show you guys what they look like, and then we can get to work seeing if any of these can go or not. No guarantees in the eyeshadow department because, again, I just don't put on a full face of makeup all the time, so I haven't had a lot of time with these palettes, but let's open them up and give them a look and see what they look like. Okay, so here are the eyeshadows. So this one here is the Chanel. This is the Tartelette in Bloom, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Tartelette in Bloom. And this one is the Naked 3. So the Chanel one is really, really nice. It's got a whole bunch of really neutral, pretty brown tones, a little bit more on the warm side. Still fairly neutral. I've only actually used this a handful of times, like a couple times. It is really nice though. The powders are really soft, and it's just a really nice, like luxurious feeling palette. The Tartelette in Bloom I actually really love because it's got some cool tones and some warm tones, so it's quite a neutral palette. It also smells really, really good. I don't ever really use the reddish, the dark reddish ones on the side because I'm more of a neutral undertone, I think, and so these ones here just tend to look better on me. And then this one is the Naked 3, and I actually really like the Naked 3 because they're a little bit more on the cool side. And I really like the rosy pink tones, and I've only used this a couple times, but I absolutely loved it. So this one for sure is staying, the Naked 3, because it is I think it is the most flattering for my skin tone, so this one's definitely staying. These ones here, honestly, I'm going to be totally honest, I prefer the Tartelette in Bloom over the Chanel. But the Chanel one is really good for bringing with me when I go travel because it's so compact, and also the packaging. I am a sucker for cute packaging, and I also, yeah, like I said, I like that this is a little bit compact, good to take with me when I travel versus the Naked 3, which is huge, and this one, which is also pretty big and pretty heavy. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to get rid of any of my eyeshadows. I only have 3 eyeshadow palettes, and yeah, I don't think I really need to get rid of any of the eyeshadows, so we're going to hold on to both the Tartelette and the Chanel eyeshadow palette. Okay, when it comes to foundation, this is the area I can really do some decluttering, and I just need to, because like I said, foundation for me is it's so important to have a really good match. It's so important to have, like, for me, complexion is everything. Like, I want dewy skin, I want healthy skin, I want a nice complexion, I don't want to look too orange, I don't want to look too gray or pale or anything. So for me, complexion is huge. So the one that suits me the absolute best is the Elizabeth Arden Flawless Finish Skin Caring Foundation. So why don't I go through the shades and just tell you what they are first. So this one is the Nude Sticks Tinted Cover Foundation, and this is in the shade Nude 1. This is the Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid Hydrating Foundation, Hyaluronic Acid plus Collagen, in the shade Fair Porcelain. This is the Elizabeth Arden Flawless Finish Skin Caring Foundation with Hyaluronic Acid and Vitamin C and E. This is in the shade 110N. The next one is the L'Oreal Paris True Match Super Blendable Foundation in the shade 0.75 N Pearl. And the L'Oreal True Match Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Serum, 1% hyaluronic acid, in the shade 0.5 to 2, which is very light. This is actually kind of a viral foundation, and I like it, but honestly, you guys, it is still a touch too dark for me. I can see why people like it because I really like the formula. I like how dewy it is, and it really is hydrating and moisturizing for the skin, but it's actually just still a touch too dark for me. So I'm going to pass this on and see if my daughter wants it. I think my daughter actually wears this one and likes it. Okay, so this L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable in the shade 0.5 and Pearl. This is actually a little too orangey on me. It's a little too like peachy orangey. I really love the foundation formula, but yeah, it's not quite the right color. A little too peachy, orangey, and slightly dark for me. So I'm going to have to remember that 0.5 and Pearl was too dark, and maybe I can try a shade lighter at some point, but yeah, this one is not going to work. Okay, the Nude Sticks in the shade Nude 1 is actually not bad, but it's not a perfect match. The Elizabeth Arden is better, so I'm going to pass this one on as well. Then I have the Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation, Hydrating Foundation. This one is pretty good, but again, not a perfect match, but it's not bad, and I really, really like the formula that's in here. Haven't had a whole lot of time with this one either. This one definitely is more of a glowy, dewy kind of finish, whereas the Elizabeth Arden is more of a medium to full coverage, and it's more of a mattifying kind of finish. Honestly, you guys, is it worth it to me to have two foundations when one is okay and the other one's great? Like, the Elizabeth Arden is probably the best match I found for me, like, ever. And I really think I should just stick to one foundation that is actually the best match that I've found. So I think I'm going to pass on the Dream Radiant Liquid because, yeah, if I ever want like something that I know is going to work and matches my skin tone and has the finish that I like and everything and the coverage that I like, I just like the Elizabeth Arden. So we're going to stick with Elizabeth Arden. All right, so this is the foundation that I'm going to keep, the one and only. All right, when it comes to mascara, we have the Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extensions, which is like the fiber extensions mascara, the Maybelline Colossal Volume, the Lash Paradise from, who's this from? L'Oreal, and the Revlon So Fierce Eyes Wide Open. So I think I'm going to declutter the So Fierce Eyes Wide Open. I think this one is good, but it tends to flake, like underneath my eyes tends to get kind of dark when I've used this one. So I was holding on to this one just to do a declutter with you guys. I did not love this one. So this one I'm going to have to toss. Lash Paradise I really enjoy. It's probably one of my favorite mascaras kind of all time. The formula is really good. It's easy to wash off. It doesn't flake. It makes my lashes look really nice. So this one's going to stay for sure. The Maybelline Colossal Volume is just like an old favorite. I actually bought this way back in the day because I saw Dr. Dre using it, and I really like it. Easy to wash off, makes my lashes look good. It's just like a goodie, you know, it's a goodie. So we're going to hold on to that one. Now, I'm kind of on the fence about the Thrive, to be honest, because even though this does definitely make my lashes look very va-va-voom, and it does add a little bit of length, and it is easy to wash off, it just kind of depends on the mood that I'm in. So the Thrive is very much like kind of that spider lash look in a sense, where they're like thick and long, but not very many of them, and they really stand out and are like in your face. The Lash Paradise is more like fluffy, soft, everyday. I don't think I'm ready to get rid of the Thrive. I do enjoy the Thrive, so I think we're going to hold on to actually both of those. Okay, primers, you guys. This is a sample primer from MAC that they gave me when I was matched for a foundation last time I was there, and I have never used it, and I'm not going to use it, so this I can get rid of as well. And then this I'm not going to use either. This is the Maybelline Master Blur Stick, and in the color 100 Transparent. I just don't use a primer, you guys, because I have all my skincare I put on in the morning. I have my sunscreen. My sunscreen for me already kind of acts as a hydrating, dewy primer. It doesn't help makeup stick on or last longer, but like this just would not work. Like, you can't put this over top of, I wouldn't put this over top of, I guess you could, but I wouldn't put it over top of all of my skincare, my sunscreen. It would just move things around, push things around. I don't find that I need it. If I was like younger and wasn't on this skincare journey, I'd probably use this as like a teenager to kind of blur my pores before putting on makeup. But because my skin, my goal in my skincare now is to have hydrated, protected, healthy skin, this just doesn't really have a place. Like, I don't think it would work very well going over top of sunscreen. So yeah, this I'm going to get rid of. I just really do not think I'm going to use it. Tried it once, didn't like it. Okay, I only have one eyebrow product. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I'm going to hold on to this because it is my one and only brow product and I actually really like it. This is another primer that can go. This is the Milani eyeshadow primer. It says it's lightweight with an invisible finish and works on all skin tones. I just don't really need an eyeshadow primer. I'm not going to use it. You know, when I put on my eyeshadow, I do such a like simple look. It doesn't really need a primer. And I guess if I really wanted to, I could use concealer, like if I really wanted to. So yeah, I just think it's one of those things that's unnecessary. And maybe if I did really bold, like loud looks where I wanted the color to be super pigmented, but I don't. So I just don't really need this. I think I'm going to see if maybe my daughter wants it. Okay, so when it comes to eyeliner, I don't wear eyeliner on a regular basis, very rarely, just if I kind of want a little bit of extra like emphasis on the eye area. So an eyeliner pencil sharpener is going to be something I'm going to have to keep, so we'll keep that for sure. And then I have 4 eyeliner pencils. I do prefer pencil over liquid because I find that it is more natural and easy to blend. So I don't use a liquid eyeliner. So I have one in the color Sand, which is like obviously a nice kind of a medium brown. I have taupe and then I have black. I don't think I need 2 black ones. They just came as a set. So I'm going to see if my mom or somebody wants this one. And as for these 3, I think I'm going to keep all 3 of them because actually these 2 are fairly new to me and I haven't really had a lot of time with them. Okay, when it comes to concealer, I just have 3 drugstore concealers here, and I have the NYX Bare With Me Concealer Serum in the shade Fair. That one is my favorite. That one is the best match for me and I really like the consistency. So this one is definitely staying. These 2, I don't really know if I need them. This is the Maybelline 30 Hour Concealer and this one is in the lightest shade. It is in the shade 05. It's quite light, better for like highlighting, I guess. And then the Essence Keep Me Covered Concealer in the shade Fair, 20 Fair. Not bad, but I do prefer the NYX. So, you know, I think I'm actually going to declutter both of these because I just don't use concealer all that often. And so I don't think I need 3 concealers. So I'm actually going to pass both of these on. Okay, I have a couple of lash adhesives and I also have my Beauty Blender. Beauty Blender, I'm going to keep. It's not actually the official Beauty Blender. It's just like a sponge, beauty sponge. I really like this for just like quickly applying concealer or whatever. So I'm going to keep that. I actually reach for it a lot. And then these 3 here, I don't think I need 3 eyelash adhesives because like I said, I rarely wear false eyelashes. So I'm just going to keep the ones that are the newest, which would be the Ardell Lash Grip. Yeah, that one might be newer. How many do I really need though? I don't wear eyelashes all that often. I'll just keep these 2. I actually think that those 2 are the newest and this one's older, so we'll get rid of that one. Okay, time for the fun stuff. This is finishing powder. This is the Hourglass Diffused Light Ambient Finishing Powder, and yeah, that's in the shade Diffused Light, I believe. So I think the second lightest one that they have, I think the second lightest one that they have. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Finishing Powder in the shade Fair, so the lightest one that they have. And I really actually like both of them. I like both of them for different reasons. The Hourglass has kind of been my holy grail. I just love this so much, you guys. Like, this is such a good one. It just makes everything look beautiful and flawless and blends everything out, and I just am obsessed. Like, I think I will always have the Hourglass, so this one is definitely gonna stay. And then as for the Charlotte Tilbury, I actually really like this one too. I had seen really good reviews about it. I had a few friends who have used this and recommended it. The only downside I saw to it was price and that they hit pan really quickly is what people said. But in terms of the formula, it is just such a beautiful buttery formula and it's a perfect match for my skin. So I really like it. So this one I think I would use when I wanted a little bit more kind of a full coverage, flawless, like photo ready kind of vibe, whereas the Hourglass is kind of like anytime, anywhere. This one I feel like just really makes you like everything's nice and covered, super even complexion because this one actually has more pigment. When it comes to blushes, I only have 3 blushes. I'll open them up so you can see what they look like. I have one from Hourglass, one from Milk Makeup, and one from NARS. All right, so this is what the colors look like. This one here is called Sublime Flush. This one here is called Dash, and this one here is called Deep Throat, which is kind of a strange name for a blush. And I actually like all three of them. I like all three of them. The lightest one is the Milk Makeup Dash. This one is really just like a nice, kind of a corally, very like neutral pink. I think anybody could wear it. It's my only cream blush. I do like cream blush on occasion. I actually brought this with me when I went on vacation because it was really nice and compact. It was great. And I honestly don't wear blush every single day because I already have kind of a natural flush to my skin, and redness is actually something I combat in my skincare routine. So I don't want to be like evening out my complexion just to then go back and add a bunch of pink to my skin. So yeah, I feel like I have like natural blush. I feel like I don't need that much blush. So yeah, as a result, I don't go through a lot of blushes, but these are all really beautiful. This is just a beautiful, the NARS Deep Throat is a beautiful corally, kind of neutral pink. Yeah, so that's the NARS Deep Throat. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous pigmented, kind of a neutral corally pink. The Hourglass is like also pretty neutral. It's got some cooler tones running through there, cool and coral. So, and this one is not as pigmented as the NARS. This one's a little bit more forgiving, whereas you can really pack on the NARS. This one isn't quite as pigmented, but I really like it. It's very pretty. So yeah, when it comes to blushes, you guys, I don't think I want to get rid of any of them. I like all three of them, and yeah, at this point, I really don't want to let go of any of them. I would say my most used one at the moment is probably the milk makeup, because it's so subtle and like easy to blend. So yeah, I'm gonna hold on to all three. Okay, you guys, when it comes to highlighters, I can definitely let go of a highlighter. I have too many. It's a little ridiculous. So I have the Christian Dior highlighter, and this is in the shade Pearlescent Glow. So this one is really like disco ball-esque. It's very, this thing dirty. Such a pretty package. I don't want it to get dirty. The package is getting dirty. Anyways, such beautiful packaging. And then this one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is in the shade, what is it? Pink Diamond. And this one is more of like a champagne-y pink. It's so pretty. And then this Rare Beauty one from Selena Gomez is in Lighten, and I absolutely love it. And then this one is the Becca Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Pearl. So again, I'm going to be honest, I really like the Christian Dior for the packaging. This one is the most like loud, wow, kind of wow factor. I don't wear it a lot. I'm going to open them up here and show you what they look like. Okay, so this is what the highlighters all look like, you guys. So they're all so pretty. Like, how do you decide when they all are so gorgeous? So this is the Dior. This is the brightest, most white one. This is the one that, this one has a lot of actually like, it has a little bit of fallout, and it's a cooler toned one. And this one's more like glittery. This one has more of a shimmer, more of a glitter to it. It's the most like wow factor, like I said. I really like the Anastasia one because it's kind of very like subtle, champagne-y, a little bit pink, really, really pretty, really effortless. The Selena Gomez is probably my new favorite one. This one is just a beautiful like champagne color, which is perfect. And I just love the way that it blends, the way that it applies. The powder is so fine and so soft. I like it a lot better than the Dior. And then the Becca Cosmetics is like somewhere in between. The Becca is also fairly light, and it's somewhere in between the Dior and the Selena Gomez. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I would not keep the Dior one were it not for the packaging, but I love the packaging. It's really cute. I like to use it to take photos. I kind of have this specifically just to take photos with. I don't actually wear it most of the time because it is just too loud, and I prefer like a champagne kind of color. So the color for me for this is not good. Maybe I will pass this on at some point and get the next shade darker, like the champagne colored one. I should have done that to begin with. I don't really know what I was thinking. I think I was thinking because I'm a light skin tone, I should have a really light highlight, but this highlight color is just too like, it makes me feel like I'm a disco ball or something. It just doesn't work. But I'm keeping it for now because of the packaging. And maybe one day I'll give this to somebody and replace it with the right color. And this is what the Becca looks like. So it's pretty light and like cool toned, but still pretty champagne-y. Still a really nice highlight. Decisions, you guys. Why is it so difficult? Honestly, I think the Anastasia. I think if I had to get rid of any, it would be the Anastasia, because this one is a cream and it's a little harder to apply because I apply my highlight as like a last step, and this one I have to rub in, so it's not my favorite. So I really like the color, but it's also good for traveling because it's very compact. But honestly, I don't think I need the 4. Could almost get rid of the Becca as well, because the Selena Gomez and the Becca are pretty similar in color. Yeah, they're just about exactly the same. So on the right is the Selena Gomez, and on the left is the Becca. They're pretty much, I think I could get rid of the Becca, honestly. So yeah, I think I might pass, but it just looks so nice. Like, it looks so aesthetically pleasing. It's hard for me to pass on anything, to be honest, because they're just beautiful. Like, they all just look beautiful. But yeah, I don't know. At this point, I do prefer the Rare Beauty over the Becca. I really do. So yeah, and then this one, love the color, love the packaging, everything about it, but it's more difficult to blend in. Becca's gonna go. It's close enough to the Rare Beauty. I don't think I need this. Becca's gonna go. And then yeah, I'm kind of at odds over what I should do with the Anastasia, because it's so pretty, but it is a pain in the butt to blend. So I'm gonna let that one go too. All right, so these are my 2 leftover highlighters, and to be fair, I probably will just always use the Rare Beauty. I also have one from Charlotte Tilbury. It's a duo with a bronzer, and I love that one too. So yeah, I think these 2 is gonna be more than enough. By the way, you guys, just excuse my hands. They're like super veiny because I'm super hot right now. So when my hands are down, my veins are like puffed up. It's really warm in my room, so. Okay, so when it comes to bronzers and contour, this is also kind of a fun area because it's just like a more fun part of makeup, and I definitely have too many. I need to get rid of a couple things. So I'm gonna open them all up for you and show you what they look like. Okay, so this is all of my bronzer and contour. So on the bottom, we have the Physicians Formula. This one, I don't use that reddish tone there. It's obviously way too dark and very reddish. I use the middle tone for contouring my nose only. I have the Charlotte Tilbury Duo, which is a highlighter and a bronzer. This is in the lightest shade that it comes in, and this I am absolutely obsessed with. Such a beautiful combination, such a beautiful palette. The bronzer tone is like a really nice neutral cool tone, so it doesn't get too orange on my skin, and the highlighter is beautiful, and the consistency of the powder just feels so nice. So I'm obsessed with this one. I'm definitely holding on to this one. This is the Fenty Matchstick in the color Amber 01, and this I really like for contouring, again, the nose. It's great for contour. Don't use it for bronzer, but I use it for contour. Then I have 2 more little contour sticks from Milk Makeup, and they are in the shade Toasted. So these are the sculpt sticks in the shade Toasted, and I liked them so much that I got 2 because they come in really tiny little packages, and I didn't want them to sell out or discontinue it or something like that. These are fantastic for travel because they're very compact. I actually brought that one with me when I went to Vegas, and that was what I used for bronzer and contour my whole trip, and it was perfect. So I really, really enjoy the Fenty Matchstick and also the Milk Makeup contour stick. And then we have the L'Oreal Infallible City Bronzer. No, not City, sorry. 24-hour fresh wear bronzer. It gets really good reviews. And this is in the color 200 Fair. That's what that looks like. Honestly, this one is a little too orangey for me. It still is a fairly cool toned brown, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's not bad, but it is a little bit orangey for me, especially compared to some of the other ones. You can see if you look, just like what a difference. For example, how much more cool toned the Fenty Matchstick is compared to the L'Oreal. You can really see how red the L'Oreal is. And because I don't want to look like an Oompa Loompa, I prefer things that are not orange. And then also we have the Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette. So here's the thing. I'm going to get rid of the L'Oreal one because, again, it is a little bit too orangey. Also, I love the Fenty Matchstick and the Milk Makeup, so I'm going to hold on to all 3 of those. They're just so easy for contour. You just literally take it and draw a little line on either side of your nose, and then you just blend, and they're just amazing, and I love them. And there's a reason why I got two of the Milk makeup. So the Milk makeups and the Fenty are gonna stay. And then these three here. So I'm definitely keeping the Charlotte Tilbury because I'm kind of a little bit obsessed with this color and the bronze and the highlight. Such a nice bronzer and highlighter palette, and this will be great for travel. And I tried contouring with it, and you can contour with it as well as bronze. So really, really good. Love this. And then these two here, I don't really know what to do with this one. So obviously, like I said, I don't use this color here. It's too orange. Orangey red never gets used. This one was a highlight, but the highlight was too dark to begin with, and it also broke. So the only one that I'm using in this whole thing is just this. And honestly, I don't even know if I need it because the other, like the sticks that I have are so good, but I still do really like that color. So yeah, I'm not really sure if I should keep that one because those two are unusable. That's the only one I'm using. It's a huge palette just to use that one center circle. You know what I mean? This here is going to go for sure. This ambient lighting, believe it or not, even though it's gorgeous, like I love it. It's very, very pretty, but I never use this shade here. Again, that's a little bit too orangey, like brownie for me. This is the same color as my finishing powder, so it's kind of redundant. I don't need two finishing powders. So really the only reason I have this entire palette is for that one color there, which is kind of silly because again, it's like a big package only to use one little square, kind of like this big package to use one little circle, when these items here kind of do it all, like do everything I need them to do. But I don't know if I want to get rid of all my powder contours. This one's going to go for sure. Why is it so hard to let go of things? Like I obviously don't need this one. It's just that I've been using that one for so many years and I really like it. I got to think about it. Let me have a drink of coffee. All right, I think for now I'm going to hold on to the Physician Formula Bronze Booster just because I'm kind of on the fence about it. I really love that color, even though that's not the right shade for me and that is broken. This color is kind of like Old Faithful, like tried and true, you know? Whereas those two are more new to me. This is brand new to me. And I really like the Fenty Matchstick. But yeah, I think I'm going to hold on to this one for now. If I decide like in a few months I haven't been reaching for it as much, if I've been using these more, then I can let that one go. But I don't want to be hasty because that for a long time, like for years and years, this was my favorite contour. So I'm going to hold on to these for now. I just wish that Physician Formula would make this with like just that color, you know, that would be very helpful. All right, guys, so this is my declutter pile. This is probably one of the most successful declutters I've ever done, like in history. This is a lot of stuff. And believe it or not, this was all in my makeup bag. How much lighter is my makeup bag going to be after getting rid of all these things? So I was able to declutter 4 foundations, 2 highlighters, 2 bronzers or bronzer palettes, 2 concealers, 1 eyelash adhesive, 1 mascara, 3 primers, 1 set of tweezers, 1 eyeliner, and 3 brushes. That is what I call a successful declutter. So I'm so proud of myself because I really did not think I was going to be able to let go of all these things. Yeah, so this makes me really, really happy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 items decluttered. And this is all the makeup that I have decided to keep. So I decided to keep 1 foundation, 1 concealer, 5 contours / bronzers, which is probably a little bit overkill, but that's honestly one of my most used makeup products. I even use it more than I use my eyeshadow. 2 finishing powders, 2 highlighters, 3 blushes, 3 mascaras, 3 eyeshadow palettes, 3 eyeliners, and 1 eyebrow pencil, 2 eyelash adhesives, and my beauty blender or blending sponge. And then of course, my brushes. So honestly, you guys, I'm pretty happy with the stuff that I have. Looking at it now, like coming back and doing one more look at it, I really don't think there's too much of anything. Maybe with the bronzer / contour, like I'm sure at one point I will be able to get rid of one of my bronzing / contour products. Like at this point, for example, I don't really know if I prefer the Milk makeup or the Fenty Matchstick. I'm not really sure which of those is my favorite. Yeah, when it comes to blushes, I feel like it's okay to have a couple different blushes because different days, different weather, different mood. And then when it comes to other things like my complexion items, like my finishing powders and my highlighters and my foundation and concealer, I think that's just really important to have a really good complexion. So I'm happy with that. And then when it comes to the mascaras and eyeshadows, I'm also pretty happy with that. One pet peeve that I do have is that the Naked 3 palette is huge. So this would be my preferred palette to bring with me when I travel, but it's big and heavy and takes up a lot of room in my kit, which is kind of why I like the Chanel a little bit better, just because it doesn't take up so much room when I travel. And then the Tartelette in Bloom is really pretty. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with the items that I've decided to keep. Let's go ahead and put them back in my bag. So it still kind of looks like I have a lot in my makeup kit. Like, it seems like a lot of products, but honestly, it doesn't feel like that much to me. Probably, yeah, like I said, at some point I can probably get rid of another bronzer slash contour. But look at all the stuff I was able to get rid of. Like, that is a schwack ton of stuff, you guys. And yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I'm really happy. Can you believe that all of that fit in here? Like, all that stuff was in here. I don't know what happened. I just started experimenting more with makeup, and I just started trying like new things, and yeah, before you know it, it kind of gets a little bit overwhelming. But I really don't think I need to get anything else. But the wonderful thing about decluttering is that kind of fresh in my mind, I have an inventory of what I have. So I'm not as likely to run out, for example, and buy another bronzer, because I just demonstrated to myself that I already have more than enough bronzers and contours. So that's an area I don't need to expand in. There's really nothing I need. And the other thing that this taught me is that I need to quit experimenting with foundations, because once you find a foundation that is a pretty good match and you're pretty happy with it, and you know it works like pretty well, I don't know why I always feel the need to try new foundations. Do you guys do that? I'm sure I'm not the only person, but sometimes I think maybe I'll find a foundation that's even better, or that suits my skin even better, or is a closer match, you know? Like, I feel like no foundation is a perfect match, but this one from Elizabeth Arden is actually a repurchase for me, so I know that it works. I know that I like it, and I just decluttered 4 foundations that did not work. So again, doing this whole decluttering thing is really nice, just to remind yourself that, okay, maybe quit experimenting with different foundations. Like, most of the time they don't work. It ends up being a complete waste of money. You don't need any more bronzers. You don't need any more contour. You probably don't need any more blushes. Yeah. So that's that, and pretty successful declutter. I'm pretty happy with it, and I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video.